everyone, hope all of you are doing well. Mahinder here from Endeavour Study Center, and I'm here today to discuss the listening module, right? And in listening module, I'm going to take one question type which we are going to discuss in detail. That's one of the challenging question type in listening module, which is summarize spoken text, right? So before we start discussing summarize spoken text, let's have a look at the listening module itself. So first of all, we really need to understand in PTE that how many points are coming from where. So to start, before I discuss the listening module different question types, I'm going to go through this thing what I have written here. So we need to understand that from speaking module you would have approximately 35 points going towards your listening module from three question types in speaking module, which are repeat sentence, read a lecture, and answer short questions. So very important to understand that if you want to get very good score in listening, you really need to get good score in speaking, especially repeat sentence, read a lecture, and answer short questions. So when I say repeat sentence, I'm talking of a content. So try to get the sentence maximum as you can if you want to maximize your score from speaking towards your listening coming from that repeat sentence. And then another one is read a lecture. So we have consistently seen that the students who actually have meaningful sentences in read a lecture, they tend to get good score in listening because their contribution going from your speaking, that read a lecture, the content is maximized towards your listening. So really important to get your good score in read a lecture. So for that you really need to work with your note making. Then answer short questions. So some people think, or some students think that answer short question is not important question type, but it's like a question type which gives you more score towards listening as compared to speaking. The contribution towards speaking from answer short question is just 1 to 2 out of 90. However, the contribution towards your listening is substantial, up to 5 or 6 and even sometimes 7 out of 90. So really need to make sure if you want a good score in listening, I really need to make sure that you have maximum in repeat sentence, read a lecture, and answer short questions. Now let's discuss the listening module as a whole. So listening module is the last module you will do in PTE. So you start with the speaking, followed by writing, followed by reading back to back, and after that would be optional toilet break. Once you return from the optional toilet break, you will start with your listening module. Now the first question type in listening module is individually timed, which is known as a summarize a spoken text, right? You get 2 to 3 of them in the exam. So that's individually timed, 10 minutes for each question. We are going to discuss that in detail in few minutes. Now after summarize spoken text, you will have 7 different question types. They will appear one after another, and they will all appear in collective time. So you will have a collective time on the top of your screen in the question, which will show you the collective time, how much time you have and how many questions you have spread across all these different question types, item types. Right, first one is multiple choice, multiple answers questions. Second, followed by fill in the blanks. Highlight correct summary follows fill in the blanks, and then after that you'll have multiple choice, choose single answer. Then you have select missing word, and then you have highlight incorrect words, then you have write from dictation. Now I have highlighted the four most important question types in listening module, which can get you 79 plus score, are summarize spoken text, fill in the blanks, and highlight incorrect words, and write from dictation. So if you really want to pass with your 65 each and 79 plus, even if you ignore multiple choice, choose multiple answers, multiple choice, choose single answers, select missing word, and to some extent even highlight correct summary, you can still get 79 plus score if you get maximum out of these 4 question types. Say, when I say maximum, I'm looking at 95% or 90 or 95% accuracy in these question types. I've done some statistics here. So if you get from speaking, if you get approximately 35 points out of 90 in listening added to your listening from your speaking, you're left with approximately 55 points here, right? So you're left with approximately 55 points. Out of these 55 points, approximately 48 will only come from these 4 question types. So this is really important that you focus on these 4 question types in listening module, ignoring highlight correct summary, multiple choice, choose single answers, select missing word, and multiple choice, choose multiple answers. Because if I total all points coming from here and here and here, and to some extent here, the contribution would be say 6 to 7 out of 90, except this question type which scores you for listening plus reading as well. So from there you have approximately 1.5 marks towards your reading from your highlight correct summary, but not very huge, not huge marks are coming from highlight correct summary. So 4 most important question types such as these 4. Now let's talk about your summarized spoken text. Now this is a question type which is important in terms of scoring, because you have approximately 12 to 13 points from this question type towards your listening, and approximately your writing module as well, 12 to 13. And believe me guys, if you know what to do in this question type, you can get all these points and maximize your contribution coming from summarized spoken text towards your writing as well as towards listening. So in this question type, what happens, the moment you return from toilet break, you will have 10 to 12 seconds waiting time, and then up to 90 seconds audio will play, and then you have to write a summary in the system. 50 to 70 words a summary within 10 minutes. You get total 10 minutes. You get 2 to 3 number of questions in the exam, and then every question will have individual 10 minutes. So that means that if you say 2 minutes in one question, and if you click next, it won't, those 2 leftover minutes won't get added into your next question. So you really need to make sure that you utilize all those 10 minutes to proofread your work and make sure it is flawless. You get 2 to 3 number of questions. Now what are the challenges? So there are many challenges in summarized spoken text. So one of the big challenges is note making. So students tend to struggle in note making. They tend to struggle in taking notes of the meaningful words and meaningful phrases from the prompt, and obviously meaningful small sentences from the prompt. Another one is comprehension. So obviously if you are unable to understand the interrelationship between different phrases that are being spoken in the lecture, then you would fail to comprehend the lecture, and that can stop you from giving a meaningful response. And then obviously we have different kinds of accents, different kinds of delivery of speech. Some people speak naturally fast, some speakers speak naturally slow, and on top of that we have different accents, American accent, UK, Irish, these are different accents. You come across different audios and different kinds of topics as well. So if you haven't heard of that topic before, you will find it difficult to comprehend, you will find difficult to understand. Now we are going to discuss how we can overcome those challenges. Let's discuss the scoring first. So summarized spoken text scores you for 5 different scoring criteria. First one is the content. So in content you have maximum 2 marks. Then you have form. So form simply means you have to have a response between 50 to 70 words, and you'll get those 2 marks. Also in your content, the main idea should be there in your content, only then form will also score you. But if you do not write on the topic, if you just write a summary completely out of topic, then obviously if you get 0 in the content, nothing else will be scored, so you'll get 0 for the whole task. But it won't happen for most of you, most of the students. But put it in simple way, if your prompt is whatever your summary you have written, it's missing the keyword or the key phrase. Suppose if they were talking about global warming, and if you haven't included global warming as one of the word in your prompt, or the effects of global warming, you're going to lose points for that. So third one is grammar. So grammar has 2 points, and then we have spelling has 2 points. We have vocabulary, 2 points as well. So in spelling, if you make 1 spelling mistake, then you lose 1 point. If you make 2 mistakes, you lose both those points. Vocabulary is important. You do not need to bring any alien word and try to drag into your summary. However, at the same time, you can use the same words which were spoken in the audio, and that would still be right. Let's have a look at the strategies now. What should be your strategy? So your first strategy should be to use some kind of template which serves as a framework for your written work, so that your summary as a whole looks like a good looking paragraph or well written paragraph. So it should be coherent, one sentence should be connected with another, and as a whole it should make meaning for a human reader. Even though PT scores your work by a computer program, a computer algorithm, but what we have observed here teaching PT for a fairly long time, that if you write for a human, if you write your sentences for a human to comprehend, they would be automatically good for the computer itself, right? So use your template, use some sort of template so that you know where to start and where to end, so that your template includes all the components of your for you to grade good marks in vocabulary, and it just makes up for your word limit as well. So template, if you guys want to see our template, feel free to visit our website, which is endeavourstudy.com.au, and you can make a guest login. After making a guest login, when you enter and when you use some parts of our portal, if you go to study material tab in our listening module, you will find our summarized spoken text template. You can get it from there, you can download it from there, right? So our template works really well. We have students scoring 90, we have students scoring 79 plus, even 65 plus, and we have kept the same template, because when you would see that template and if you write something, you will feel good about yourself. You will feel, oh yes, this response is meaningful, it makes sense to me, and if it makes sense to you, it makes sense to computer. So try to use the template. It will supplement your vocabulary, and it will also make up for the word limit. So how computer grades your content is on the basis of the keywords or key phrases. So for example, if the audio was up to 90 seconds, say computer might have in its collection, say 30 keywords from that main audio, right, that audio. And in your work, as long as they see more than 80% or 80% of them, they give you full points in the content, right? In terms of how computer grades your work, it's a computer algorithmic program. We call it a semantic analysis. Semantic analysis can sort of find out with the help of what word is used where, on the basis of that, the tentative meaning of your written work. So that is addressed by this form criteria. Now, to enhance your vocabulary, you should use any kind of template which you think you're comfortable with, and then it will also make up for the word limit. Now, another one is proofreading, very important point. So if you don't proofread your work and if you have like 2 spelling errors, obviously you have already lost 2 points, which are 20% of your total given points. So really important to proofread. Make sure that you do proofreading word by word. You should have at least 3 minutes to spare for proofreading. So how we should divide time? So first, obviously we have 10 minutes, that's inclusive of the audio. So it will take like 3 to 4 minutes, or 3 to 4, anything between 3 to 5 minutes for writing the prompt. And then you should have at least 2 to 3 minutes towards the end in proofreading the prompt, and you have to proofread it word by word so that you do not have any single spelling error. If you do not know the spelling of a word, and if you have heard the word was something like this, try not to write the spelling if you are not sure about the spelling. You can use any replacement word, or which you think that word can replace some other word. So try not to use a word which you don't know the spelling of. And then if you are not familiar with writing long sentences, try to stick small sentences and try to bring your word limit at least 50, so that you don't lose that form criteria. So form marks from that criteria. So that shows that if you have 50 to 70 words and if you have enough content, then you'll get full marks for your form. So if we look at in nutshell, we can see that it's not like the content is important. All other skills, grammar, spelling, vocabulary, they are also important. So for vocabulary, use the right template. For supplementary vocabulary, for spelling, make sure you do proofreading. Grammar, understand the sentence structure. Mainly you have to avoid a subject-verb agreement mistake, which is the most common mistake for English as a non-native users, especially in writing, and similar mistake we do in speaking too. So these are the things you need to keep in mind. And then another thing, use all 10 minutes in this task, because this is what we observe through mock tests, that the student is only spending 6 minutes on summarized spoken text, but then you see that they have like 3 spelling errors and they have 2 errors of the comma, which the student might have been able to avoid if they did careful and critical proofreading. So when you proofread, I have a tip here for most of you. When you proofread, read your work, you read it from the perspective of a fresh reader who have not listened to the audio, and ask yourself, does that make sense to you? If that makes sense to you, then it makes sense to the computer, right? That's all I have for Summarize Spoken Text today, and I'm looking forward to make some more videos for all of you. If you have any specific topic which you like me to talk about in my next video, please write in the comment box. Feel free to get in touch with us if you need any coaching. We are located at level 990 King William Street, and our phone number is 0455903521. Please also like our Facebook page so that we do some live classes. You can take benefit out of that. Any questions, just write in comment box, and I will be more than happy to answer them. Thank you. Thanks for your time. I'll see you in next video.